What's going on, everyone? It's Taylor Cowles here from CLNS Media, and the Patriots have gotten their first bit of news on trade deadline day. Now, while Josh Uche's been at the top of the list of players who could potentially be moved to another team in return for either player or pick compensation, according to Bleacher Report's Jordan Schultz, teams have shown interest in running back Ezekiel Elliott, who's been the number 2 for New England behind REM Stevenson. Now, the Patriots have no depth at running back behind Stevenson and Elliott, as number 3 Ty Montgomery, who's actually listed as a wide receiver, only has 2 rushes all season. Now, if the Patriots did move on from Ezekiel Elliott, it's most likely that Kevin Harris would be signed to the 53-man roster as a backup, but he has yet to be activated from the practice squad this season. Now, it's always possible that with it being trade deadline day, another running back potentially pops up as someone who could replace Elliott. But he's really been coming on recently, showing a bit more explosiveness and contact balance relative to the beginning of the season, where both he and REM Stevenson had kind of slow starts. Elliott's also been able to contribute as both a receiver and a running back, lining up in empty formations and getting a lot of targets early on in the season, but that has dwindled recently, and really we're seeing more of REM Stevenson as an every down type presence, especially being on the field on third downs. Now, one of the biggest areas of need while we're on the topic of running back that I've seen on the roster is a third down back who can consistently create separation. I thought there were a couple of times against the Dolphins where you could see that Mac expected REM Stevenson to beat a linebacker or a defender in coverage, and he simply didn't have the burst at the top of his routes to get that done. So while I do think it would be very difficult for the Patriots to move on from Ezekiel Elliott, considering, once again, they don't have much, if any, depth behind him, they do have another young body on the team that they're familiar with in Kevin Harris, and it could mean that the team has to look into getting another player at that position, maybe ideally one who could contribute more as a receiving threat.
FanDuel is the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Now, while I am all for the idea of Kevin Harris actually getting an opportunity to show what he can do in year 2, my biggest concern if the Patriots did move on from Ezekiel Elliott would be REM Stevenson potentially having to take on another massive workload if we end up seeing Kevin Harris not pan out. Now, Stevenson's already pretty close to his averages last season in terms of both targets and carries, and we saw what that did to him as the season progressed. And the Patriots aren't really in position to say no to draft picks, especially for a player like Elliott, who's not even going to be on the team next season. But again, REM Stevenson's one of your cornerstone offensive pieces, and he's still under contract next season. So you don't want him to have to take on, again, another big workload where he's just going to wear down by the end of the season, especially considering he just started to get back on track with some of his vintage make you miss and show great contact balance type of plays that we saw last week against the Dolphins. Now, the Patriots do have former Packers running back Patrick Taylor on the practice squad as well, but he's never had 25 carries in a season or averaged 4 yards per carry.
With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Head to factormeals.com/presspass50 and use code PRESSPASS50 to get 50% off. That's code PRESSPASS50 at factormeals.com/PRESSPASS50 to get 50% off.